So here we can see this is the skeleton of cattle, in which we are going to discuss about the lumbar vertebrae. So here we can see first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. So these are the 6 lumbar vertebrae. So in separate specimen, here we can see there are 6 we have seen in the skeleton. So 6 lumbar vertebrae are found. We can see here that they are having greatly elongated transverse process. So transverse process are more comparative to other vertebrae, like in case of thoracic we have not seen this much. In case of cervical, not in, even in thoracic also the transverse process are not that much long. But in case of lumbar vertebrae, they are forming the roof of the abdominal cavity. In this way, this is having very long transverse process, as we can see. So, and strongly curved articular process, as we can see here, the articular process, they are strongly curved in this way, in this manner. This is the posterior one and this is the anterior one. So articular process are strongly curved, here we can see in this manner. And in case of skeleton also we can see these are the articular process, they are curved in this manner. Next thing, the body. First we will discuss about the body. So body is constricted at the middle, we can see here in this form it is constricted, and in this manner we can see it is constricted at the middle here and expanded at the extremities. So it is expanded here and here, like this, expanded here we can see this is expansion is there. In this manner also we can see constricted then expanded, constricted then expanded, and much compressed from above downward. So in this way this is much compressed comparative to thoracic vertebrae. And the anterior extremity is less convex. It is convex but not that much, as we have seen thoracic and cervical vertebrae. And posterior is less concave. This is concave but less concave, as we can see. And arches of the first 3 are equal in size. So these are the arches in the first 3 lumbar vertebrae. Here we can see this is the first, second and third. So these arches which is found in this aspect are equal in size, and so these are the arches which we can see. Next thing, the similar to the last thoracic vertebrae, that is the size of these arches, but behind they gradually increase in breadth and height. So as we move towards caudal aspect, then this arches area is increased, as we can see here. This one is having more comparative to this one. Okay, so next thing is the posterior notches are much deeper. So these are the, here we can see deep in this aspect. The intervertebral foramen are often double in the anterior and is very large further back. So as we can see here, these are the intervertebral foramen, they are double, and as we increase caudal aspect they are very large. You can see here it is larger, it is more expanded and open here. As we can see this is smaller. Okay, so this one is very small, this one is first, then compare this one to this one, we can see the size is increasing. Even in this aspect this is open, we can see here. Next thing is, as we can see in this aspect, that the process are, this articular process are large and they are placed little apart and are strongly curved. The anterior articular process are concave, we can see here. This is posterior, this is concave in this manner. This is concave as like this, and strongly curved and directed medially. In this way they are directed medially, and shows mammillary process at their lateral aspect. So these are the mammillary process. This is anterior because convex anterior end of the body. This is concave posterior end. So these are the posterior articular process. These two, and these two are the anterior articular process bearing mammillary process. As we discussed earlier that in most mammals, posterior thoracic and anterior lumbar vertebrae, between the anterior articular process and lumbar transverse process we can find the mammillary process. So posterior thoracic vertebrae we can see here, these are the posterior thoracic vertebrae. In between them here we can see these are the mammillary process, and anterior lumbar vertebrae we can find the mammillary process here. In between the articular anterior articular process and lumbar transverse process we can see the mammillary process like this, like this, like this, like this. Next thing is, which we can see, that posterior articular process are convex. So they are expanded and convex, we can see in this manner. They are convex, directed outward like this. You can see they are directed outward in this manner, and project from the arch at the base of the superior spine. So project from the arch at the base of the superior. This is the superior spine. You can see at the base these are the posterior articular process. The transverse process are elongated plate flattened from above downward, we can see here, and project outward at the right angle of the body like this. We can see here also, in case of skeleton we can also see there also that they are projected outward in this manner, and we can see they are forwardly curved like this. Here we can see in this way, in this manner. Here also we can see. So the process are all directed forward and shortest in the first, and the length gradually increase to the fifth. As we can see, this is very shortest, then gradually increase first, second, third, fourth and fifth, and then again the sixth one is smaller than the fifth one. So the process are increasing from the first to the fifth, and gradually then increase up to the fifth, and then sixth. They are shorter than the fifth. And the intertransverse process or intertransverse space are filled up by the intertransverse lumboral muscle. So this is the intertransverse space that is filled by intertransverse lumborum muscle is found in between them. The spaces are there that is filled by this muscle that is found in this space. Next thing about this lumbar vertebrae is the spines are broad flattened plate. We can see here broad and flattened plate resemble to the last thoracic and are of same height as the last thoracic, and the ventral spine are rudimentary. We can see that ventral spine is rudimentary and afford attachment to the longitudinal ligament. So we can see here that ventral spine is the rudimentary, that is not very developed, and longitudinal ligament is attached there. And we can see this is the last thoracic, and these are the dorsal spinous process or supraspinous process, or the dorsal spine of this lumbar vertebrae. They are of same height of that of the last thoracic vertebrae. So this is about the lumbar vertebrae of ox.